Chuck's Guitar Geekery. Today I'm checking out the ISet Plexion distortion pedal because it's a Marshall in a box. Who doesn't love a Marshall in a box? I have it set to like a lead tone, and it's got a toggle switch with 2 different modes, so there's some flexibility here. I'm using an ugly guitar that's also got some flexibility here, so Music Vox Space Ranger, it kind of had its claim to fame being in one of the Austin Powers movies. So it's ugly. Everyone always comments about how this is an ugly guitar, and you know what? Comments help me in the algorithms, so thank you for your service. People left a comment, this is an ugly guitar. I might be doing that on purpose. You've been played. But I have the guitar going into the pedal, from the pedal to the PRS MT15 here, so yes, it's going through a tube amp, but I have it set pretty clean. From there, through a load box to impulse responses. It's a free impulse response of the Tone Junkies AI IR of an H30 Orange 412. Favorite IR. Definitely recommend it, and it's free. Plus, I have a Patreon. On the Patreon, you get the backing jam tracks, and I also do Tonex and the QVAVE or MVAVE AM2 data amp captures. So I'll get into that more later. Let's revisit the tone I had at the beginning there, and then I'll start twiddling knobs. Let's go. Pretty extreme lead tone. Let's kick it back a notch. So that was in the bright mode, and I find the bright mode really pushes the mids a bit, and normal mode is a little more mid-scooped. So let's get these knobs at noon and see what they do. But first, my clean tone. By the way, when you see me touching this big black knob here, that's what's called a spin and split. So these pickups can go from full humbucker to single coil and everywhere in between. So that's what this pedal does on the lower gain side. Let's see how much noisy gain is in here. That's absurd. I feel like most of the usable gain sweep is between 1/4 and 1/2 here, so let's go somewhere in between. Now let's see what the bright mode does. Kind of gets that Tom Schultz Boston type of sound on the bright mode there. So what the bright mode does to me is it really pushes those frequencies that the guitar sits in a mix well with. So to me, if I were to use this pedal live, I don't know, there's no way to switch between the bright and normal mode, but it's almost like a lead boost at that point. So if you're gonna use it as a rhythm sound, I would stick with the normal mode. Go up if you want to use it for a lead tone. So let me circle back around to my Patreon for a minute here. So with my Patreon, there's two tiers. There's two different products I'm selling with my Patreon. There's the backing jam tracks, which I'm trying to group them in threes as far as like styles of music. So this is the third in that series of more heavier style. The first two were a little more hard rocks and kind of groove heavy a little bit. I hear a hot rodded Marshall sound. My mind went old school thrash metal. Some people think Van Halen when it comes to hot rodded Marshall. I think old school thrash metal. So that's what I went with here because that's what's fun for me to play, even though I'm not a good shredder. But you get that backing jam track. I'll extend it out 3 or 4 minutes. So for $2 a month, you can get at least one backing jam track a week. And I'm going to cover a whole variety of styles and some more complicated, some more basic. Just have a variety out there because sometimes it's fun to step outside your comfort zone and learn something different. The other tier on my Patreon is I'm going to sell amp captures. I'm doing both Tonex. Then if you have any of the devices that uses AM2 data for amp captures, that's the M5A black box, M5A Tank G. I think Leo James has a silver box. I think Donner has a Pocket X or something they call it. But anything that looks like this that does amp capture profile files, you can use these captures with that. So for this one, you'll get 2 captures this week. I'm going to do one high gain with the bright function on as a lead tone, going through this PRS here, so a good lead tone, going through a tube amp. Then I'm going to do a lower gain on normal mode, rhythm tone. So you get both of those captures. But anyways, let's see what this tone knob does. So I know what you're thinking. What's the difference between the normal mode with the tone knob up versus the bright one? Let's hear it. So right now I'm in normal mode with the tone knob turned up. Versus bright mode on, tone knob down. So I know that says bright on the switch, but to me that's more like an upper mid boost than like a treble boost. And I don't know, those frequencies it's boosting, I think, work in a mix very well. So the opening jam track, the two rhythm guitars you hear on the left side, so that's your left if you're watching me, that has the bright mode on and going through the greenback H30. On your right side, that's the normal mode, but going through a vintage 30 impulse response. So you can use these, especially if you're going to be layering guitars to get like variations of sound to have like a bigger sound. So anyways, I don't know. Let's see how this responds. Let's turn the gain up a bit. Let's see how this responds to the guitar's controls. So. It doesn't clean up the best at this level of gain, but that's a lot of gain. So, anyways, my overall thoughts, it does that Marshall thing. It almost has way too much gain on tap. It also has a lot of output because I have the volume about halfway up, and that's a little past unity gain, to be honest. So, yeah, affiliate links below if you want to grab one for yourself. They're dirt cheap. And then also, if you join my Patreon, by the time this video comes out, I'm releasing an overall demo of this PRS MT15. So I will have Tonex and AM2 data captures of this clean channel out there. And this is a free impulse response, so you can have this tone too if you want. Or I'm going to do the amp and pedal together as a capture. If you want a capture of just the pedal and that will get you to join the Patreon, let me know and I could start doing that too. But anyways, thanks for checking it out. See y'all later.